Chris Acker, assistant coach, San Diego State University, with us on Xtra 1360. Chris, good morning. How are you and your family doing?
Family's doing well. Thanks so much for having me on. How are you guys?
We're doing well, Chris. How long ago does that seem to you that the college basketball season 30-2 that season came to an end? It seems a lot longer ago than it actually was, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. It seems like it was a long time ago with all the things going on right now.
Chris, let's focus on all the things that are going on right now. It's obviously not lost on anybody. I hope it's not lost on anybody. Yeah, we need monumental change in this country. What have the conversations been like with you, your team, maybe family and friends right now?
Well, first and foremost, we truly believe leadership starts from the top, and we've been very fortunate to have, a president at San Diego State and an athletic director, JD, and our head coach that has really done a tremendous job allowing our student athletes, our coaching staff to really share in what's going on in the world in a safe environment and, not shy away from it, but allow us to have a forum to talk and speak on behalf of what's going on. And it has been a very difficult situation for a lot of people. And, our guys, Coach Dutcher allowed us to get on a Zoom call as a team and, really break some things down and allow our guys, more importantly, to voice their opinions on what's going on in their communities. And each guy is taking it differently. Everybody has their own opinion and their own voice about it. And, me personally, and my family, the unique thing for me was I came home one night and when I really started seeing things turn for the worse in society, when, there was rioting and different things going on, I sat down with my two young boys and had a conversation with them about what was going on, but I let them speak, and I was just shocked to know how much I didn't know and how much I didn't understand, how much they knew what was actually going on. They're 12 and 8, and for them to speak so fluently about what's going on in society was a shock to me because, it's really, taking a little bit of their innocence away, what's going on. And so it just puts everything in perspective that there's things so much more important than, basketball and things that, we value right now. What's important is what you just said, is that there needs to be dramatic change in society for sure.
Chris, if you don't mind me asking, where are 12 and 8-year-olds getting a lot of their news or information from?
Well, I think just, in the conversation in the household, you don't think that they're listening and, they have access to YouTube through all of these smart TVs and smart devices that are in the house, and things flash across the screen, and they pay attention way more than you think they are. They're really paying attention and they're really interested, which I think is very important for them to be aware of what's going on around them and not just be what we call in la la land sometimes, because it is very serious and it affects them, and they're going to affect our future. And so, as much as I want to hide them from what's going on, it's more important to educate them and help them understand that, they are going to be a part of the change in society at one point. So it's better to know now what's going on than later.
Chris, some great human beings in my life, my wife's life, and my sons are some friends of ours. They're black, and they're both great people. They have a beautiful family. They got beautiful kids, great home, great environment that these kids are growing up in. But she has told us time and time again about the conversations she regularly has with her 3 sons about, okay, when you step out of that door, remember what I always tell you. If, in fact, you come across a police officer or something like that, obviously a conversation my mom and dad never had to have with me within that context. Have you had those conversations with your kids yet?
I wouldn't say I've had those in-depth conversations yet. Because what's interesting for me, and I'm sure a lot of people can attest to this, is we move so quickly through life that sometimes you get caught up in what's going on. And it's unfortunate that situations like the George Floyd incident has to happen for you to stop and realize that, wow, there's these issues are still going on in society right now. I can't believe that it's 2020 and we're still talking about racism, but it's a fact of life. So to answer the question, I kind of try not. I haven't had those conversations because my kids aren't driving or anything yet. But
Okay.
then when you look at it, it's not necessarily about driving. It's just walking down the street, going to the store, riding your bike. Like
Yep.
you can be stopped for any reason. So I definitely plan on continuing on a day-to-day basis, educating them and helping them understand exactly what's going on for sure.
Chris Acker, assistant coach, San Diego State University, with that great basketball program with us on Xtra 1360. Chris, how are your players doing?
I think a lot of them are they're all managing. They we talk to them on a daily basis. Myself, Coach Dutcher, Coach Velasquez, Coach Jay Morris, JD Pollock, Mark Fisher. We're all on the phone with these guys on a day-to-day basis, and just really interacting with them. And I think all of them. The one thing about our guys that we are very fortunate to have is they're all very intelligent young men, and they understand that they can make a change and they can educate their friends and families on how to make a change. But they understand that they stand for something much bigger than themselves. And so when you listen to them talk, a lot of times they're just talking about the fact that they understand that they represent the community of San Diego, and they want to do what's best on behalf of Aztec Nation and on behalf of their families, and always put themselves in a position to where they don't have to worry about putting themselves in danger. So, really thankful to have the young men on our rosters that we have.
Chris, you know if any of them got out and were part of any peaceful protests?
I'm not exactly sure. No, I'm not sure of many of them got out. I'm sure. In talking to some of them mentioned that they may think about it, but I don't think any of them said that they were actually out protesting.
How much of a challenge has this been to do it when you can't be together, right? You can't, I'm assuming this is all some pretty tough conversations all by way of Zoom or Skype. How's that going?
It is difficult, because the most important thing that, as a coach, it's our responsibility to be father figures to these young men when they leave the house. And, the one thing that you learn is that you worry about them like you worry about your own children. You want to make sure that they're safe and that they're okay. So, I found myself having conversations with guys about, what to do if you're pulled over and who to hang out with, and telling them that, like, hey, I'm not trying to be your dad, but this is what I'm thinking. So, at the end of the day, it's very difficult with the pandemic and all of the things that are going on with racism and the fight against injustice, to have these conversations over Zoom and over the phone, because you just can't see their expressions. And, a lot of times when you're talking to guys on the phone, they say yes, no, and they're not really giving you everything that you'd want, and you're not able to read facial expressions and understand their mood at the time. So, I'm just thankful that they are opening up a little bit and that they are aware of what's going on, and they're making good decisions right now.
Chris, if you and I were sharing a meal or hanging out over a beer or a cup of coffee or something, and I came to you and I said, listen, I'm sick to my stomach, and I'm tired of just saying, hey, this is terrible. I need to get involved. I need to do something. What would you tell me?
Well, I'd say first and foremost, I think it starts in the household. It starts with us as individuals, looking at exactly what's going on in the world and not being sensitive about what's going on, because at the end of the day, it's a global issue. It's about first addressing the fact that there is a problem. And then, I think we need to go out there and vote and try to make a difference that way. And if peaceful protesting is the way that you feel necessary to do that, then so be it. Whatever it takes, whatever moves you and allows you to feel like you're making a difference, I think that's important. Because the most important thing through all of this, I think, is that the people in authority over the governing body of society, those are the people that we need to address, and we need to help really see that there's laws and there's different things that need to be changed. So, like you said, it's not just going to be us talking about it. We're going to have to actually put our foot down and get out there in the community and make a change.
Are you and the coaching staff communicating a lot more right now than you would be usually, potentially? I don't know it, quote unquote, if it was a normal year and you guys could get together safely. how would it be versus how it is currently?
Well, I think we would have had obviously a lot more. We're still trying to recruit, and we're still trying to find guys that to be a part of our Aztec family. So I think typically we would have spent a lot more time together, just with recruiting visits on campus and just meeting in general about the direction of the program. So we definitely would have spent a lot more time face to face together had all of this not gone on. But right now we are communicating quite a bit, and whether it's Coach Dutcher calling us or us calling him or Zoom meetings, we're all in communication for sure. And like I said before, our athletic director does a tremendous job of getting the entire athletic department on the phone on Zoom together and allowing us a forum to where we can speak and talk and communicate and listen to each other about what's going on, so we could figure out a way to better serve our student athletes.
Chris, have you guys figured out a way to clean up those 2 losses you had last year? Make sure we.
God, way to underachieve.
I mean, let's get to the where's the 32-0, Chris?
Well, we think about it all the time. We're trying to figure out a way to go back in time and erase those 2 losses for sure. But man, those were tough for sure.
We cannot wait for basketball. Sounds like we're going to have the return of the NBA, and shortly after that, it's going to be a busy back half of the season, we hope, when it comes to sports, including San Diego State hoops you'll catch right here on Xtra 1360. Chris, thanks for your time. Thanks for sharing some personal stuff with us. We greatly appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys having me on, and I just pray that everyone stays safe and, we continue to figure out a way to salvage everything that's going on and just continue to promote and make sure that we're communicating about what's going on in society. So, again, thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Chris.